Welcome to the What Wine How Can I podcast. Excited to have another guest on today. We're going to be talking about a couple things that are not near and dear to myself. Actually, none of the topics we talk about are very near and dear to me. That's why we kind of have people on to learn about certain things. But this young man, I came across his post the other day, and he's just spitting fire and numbers and money and everything at everybody. And I'm just like, okay, let's hear what this young entrepreneur, this young business developer, business starter, whatever I think he's going to talk about himself a little bit, has to offer. Interesting stuff, because we all have heard of drop shipping, and we all heard of invest this much, make this much every month. Things that, and we've talked about earlier, sounds too good to be true. You know, they sound like it's, and honestly, to be honest with you, Mark, I'm still not a believer. And I guess it's going to take me to actually try it for me to see one day. But a little bit of cryptocurrency, a little bit of Amazon, not drop shipping. We'll be talking today, and then other things, endeavors that you're in or about. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Yes, I really hope personally to learn something, and also the viewers. So let's start with obviously the What Wine How Can I. What is it that you're offering? What is it that you're about?
Oh my goodness. This is everything summarized into one principle of mine would be try to find the purest form of truth amongst all the opinions, all the perspectives, weigh them, but find that gold amongst the whole pile of garbage, trash, all of it. So there's that's how I like.
Okay, let's define trash and truth. We're not talking about Jesus. We're not talking about Allah or Buddha here. What are we specifically going towards?
I'm talking about everything, actually.
You are talking about everything.
I am talking about everything.
So you're looking your truth in life, truth period.
Truth in life, correct. Okay. Because truth in life will help you. Well, it helped me massively to look at finances differently, to look at savings differently, to look at how I speak completely differently. How I listen, just social interactions are completely like, in a sense, I see everything in a different color now. And just because you have to be an avid seeker of being like a truthful speaker, and you're not always going to get it right, and don't be hard on yourself. But the closer you get to the truth, you're going to see more growth in all fields. And I'm like a huge believer in a lot of things.
So what happened that you all of a sudden started seeking the truth? I mean, did you see a vision? Where was that breaking point for you?
The huge breaking point was about 3.5 years ago now. I first learned how to say no. And that was actually one of the greatest things in my life, to say no to a boss. And that said yes to my life, in a sense, to stop giving up my valuable time, effort, experience, and trade it in for a very low income, in a sense, and be belittled almost every single day. And there are a few people in my life that kind of went through that same process, and they understand it. And they're getting around to saying no and meaning it, and taking control of their life a little more. And that was a huge breaking point for me.
I mean, was it a book? Did you listen to somebody?
It was I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but it was a hell no. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. There was no I didn't know if it was the right thing to do. I just said it, and it felt so good, because I felt like I was getting a little bit of my own identity, because I lived on my own. I had a few roommates here and there, but saying that initial no to an authority in a sense, which I almost rejected almost every authority in my life,
Yeah.
including through high school and middle school. It was just kind of like my own complex. But actually saying that to someone that had a really big control of my life got me to see life in a different color. And when I say it's in different color, my beautiful fiance would know exactly what I mean, because literally about a week and a half before I met her, I'm like, you have no clue how I'm looking at life.
Yeah.
Like we're drinking a cup of coffee. I'm like, Carolina, look at all the colors. And she's like, what are you talking about? I was like, it's so amazing. But it's super weird.
Dude,
right?
if somebody doesn't know you, we do not do drugs.
Yeah, we know.
I agree. Super weird how you're talking about all this right now.
Yeah.
Definitely a surreal moment for you, and I'm glad it happened. For me, I never had nothing where things look in different colors, but I had like a time in my life where like I've realized that I'm grown up and it's time for responsibility, and I was like, I wasn't depressed, but like just overwhelmed for like 3 days straight, not eating, and just scared because there's a future ahead of me that I have to take control of.
Yeah.
But for you got almost excited about what was ahead of you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So truth, in this world, seeking the truth. You're into investing, crypto, finances. Let's go that way.
Yeah, let's go down the rabbit hole.
Let's go down the rabbit hole. I want to
Yes.
learn about that stuff.
Yeah.
And also, do you know the name of your channel that's going to be?
No, we have not decided yet.
So no name, but we'll drop it in the description below this video. I guess it's going to be a channel about
crypto and real estate insights.
Crypto
and real estate insights. I'm going to focus on those things.
Okay.
And then maybe like later on in the future, kind of like break off and go somewhere else. But
okay, so you guys will find that link if he has it up by the time this drops. But let's go there.
Yeah. Awesome. Crypto world is amazing.
Okay, when did you get into crypto?
2017. I lost money.
You lost money a lot?
Yeah, 95% of my money.
Wow. Okay.
And I've never sold.
You haven't sold? Okay,
since 2017.
So you haven't lost it?
No,
you were down.
Yeah.
Because technically, from what I've heard, if you're down, you don't sell, you haven't lost.
Yeah.
If you sold, you lost. So you bought, it tanked, you got diamond hands, is what you're telling me.
Basically.
Okay, good. A lot of people didn't have diamond hands. If you bought Doge, right, you got excited when it hit 17 cents.
Yeah.
And here we are at what, 70 today?
Yeah. Incredible what people could do with a meme.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy. So, real quick, before we go down that rabbit hole, prediction: Elon Musk is going to be on SNL tomorrow, Saturday Night Live. I hope. Do you hope? Will he discuss Doge? Will he give this coin a plug? And will it go up or down?
Oh, this is how I see it. So I see it more from a macro level.
Okay.
Right? We're only maybe $2.3 trillion market cap in the entire crypto space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, in my opinion, what I could see is cryptography and blockchain technology is literally going to take over finances in this world, and it's going to get a market share.
Mm-hmm.
So trillions of dollars are going to trickle into this space. Understanding that hundreds of millions or billions might end up in the wrong place.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean by that?
And what I mean by that is, if you look at it from a macro level,
mm-hmm.
maybe $1 billion is going to end up in Doge.
Yeah.
So if we see it go to $5, amazing. But it's the pet rock of the crypto world but it's amazing because it brings people to the space. That's what I'm excited about.
So it's just you're saying it's a great hype tool for the crypto world for people to kind of be exposed to it and start throwing money at the crypto
Exactly,
stuff.
because they realize, oh my goodness, I just bought a meme. It literally is a meme. And this kind of tells you a little bit about human psychology and how greedy people are in nature in themselves,
Okay.
right? They see the price chart go up and they're like, I'm gonna make so much money, and that's great.
And that's the only reason they buy is like, dude, my neighbor just made $2,000 for no reason. Why am I a sore loser and sitting here not buying Doge?
Yeah.
I'll buy Doge, and the next guy, I'll buy more.
Yeah. So short term, it's great.
Yeah.
You know, it's what up 128,000% within a year. I mean, wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
It's cool because it's getting all that noise, but it's interesting because if you go into the crypto space, regulatory clarity has not been given to fundamental projects that are actually changing the world, right? Behind the scenes. And then SNL is going to cover a meme and pump it to even more billions of dollars, which is very interesting, but it also tells you a little bit about our government and how incompetent they are when it comes to this amazing technology that is changing finances, that's changing the real estate world, that's changing identity, you know, your ID card, all that stuff. It is going to change.
How is crypto changing the finance world?
Oh, everything. How you move liquidity, how you verify payments, settling mechanisms. I mean, you name it, crypto touches all of that.
Okay.
Right. And once you go down that rabbit hole, I cannot cover it because it is going to be my first time trying to articulate it because all of this is in my head, you know, and I have to give it to someone and actually have them understand it without getting into technical terms, but make it understandable. But in a sense,
I mean, the biggest investor in the world have tried to understand it, and they still do not invest in it from what they tell us because they don't fully understand it, or maybe they're just mad at the world that there's all these people making the money that they've worked 40 years for, and people are making it in a year.
Yeah. I would follow up to that and say it's not that they don't understand it, it's that we don't have regulatory clarity on how to use these certain products and how institutions could use their money services, how they could use their cloud-based data management services. Now, that's the biggest thing about cryptography.
So, are you saying cryptography should be regulated?
There's going to have to be regulatory clarity for institutional investors to grow massively. So we're talking about a lot of old money.
Okay.
Right? A lot of old money is in hedge funds. That's why the hedge funds that are out right now they see what's happening in the world. Bitcoin's taking a market share. And they understand the fundamentals that it's completely decentralized. And when I literally mean decentralized, I mean there's no governance behind it, which is another technical term. I don't want to go too far into it. But when you start studying this world, a lot of these crypto companies have a governance, right? And because they saw that in Bitcoin, right, which is a huge buzzword. I love Bitcoin. I'm not a maxi, but I'm very long it.
And let's define maxi and long.
Maxi, so it's so funny, but I think maxi, I think you know, like you know, people are always like talking, oh, Bitcoin there and Doge that, you know. That's what I see in my head. I'm kind of in the middle. I love the fundamentals of that tool, that financial tool. It's a hedge against governments. It's a hedge against inflation. I mean, no one controls it. Yes, the miners are centralized, and that's another thing that it's a rabbit hole, because if you look into who controls or has most of the mining power, most of the mining power for Ethereum and Bitcoin is centralized in China, a communist country. So when old money looks at it, they go, no way we're going to invest into a technology that is being monopolized on the back end by a communist country, right? And this is the great thing about Florida, about Texas, about, I believe, Wyoming. They're incentivizing individuals to come over here, start companies, and mine for Bitcoin here. And they give you tax breaks. They give you incentives. I mean, Florida, they're doing amazing things in the crypto world. Wyoming, another state.
Isn't Florida accepting like payments in a cryptocurrency?
Yeah, and
I think the government or the governor said either Bitcoin or Ethereum, like you could pay taxes or something in it.
Something like that. I don't know too much, but I know that Florida wants to be one of those states that is going to be driving innovation and welcoming it, which, in my opinion, a lot of the old people in government don't understand something like this, right? Because they grew up, 40 years investing in what they know, and then a new technology comes out and it takes a market share, and it takes a market share out of banks, and it takes a market share out of technology, Instagram, data management services, and they're like, what's going on? They don't want to understand it. That's the thing. Right. They're too old to even care about it.
The crazy thing is that the companies you invest in, you're going to have to change. How many of the S&P 500 companies do you think are in the 500 today that were in 1999?
Ooh, I wouldn't know.
0%.
Yeah.
So none of the companies that were the S&P 500 in 99 are in the S&P 500 today, which tells me is like, as scary as it is to change. And this is what I've been teaching myself. And for that same reason, like, don't be the old dog that can't learn new tricks. You're going to have to be the old dog that keeps stretching so you can learn new tricks. Because then when change comes, you're going to be the guy looking from the sidelines, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And so that sucks. But what, in your opinion, what is the most secure cryptocurrency? Not that you're telling others to invest in, but maybe you invest in. I mean, I'm sure that you're taking chances on some stuff.
Don't buy or sell. On my opinion, I'm not a financial advisor in any way, shape, or form. So please,
yes,
don't hold me liable for any of your
losses.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can
shout
me out on gains. Yeah. But it's interesting. So I keep an open mind to a lot of things. And the term maxi, in my opinion, is, people are just going to believe in one technology.
Yeah.
But what came out of the internet bubble, right? A few companies, a handful of companies, right? Now, look at the crypto world in the same way, through the same lens. Understand history doesn't always repeat itself. It oftentimes rhymes. Where in a completely different space where there's a technology revolutionizing the entire space, data, payment, all that stuff, just like tech companies with data, tech companies, payment, PayPal.
Dude, I'm still
all that stuff.
I was just about to say PayPal. I'm still surprised PayPal is around today.
Yeah.
Because they were one of the original, right, payment companies, online payment companies. And they were able to change to kind of change with the times, and they weren't left out.
Yeah.
Which is surprising. Go on. Sorry about that.
I honestly forgot where I was going.
Okay, the companies that you think are the most secure cryptocurrencies.
Great. Oh man, I can't name drop a lot, but there's a lot that I personally love. I love everything about XRP, XLM, Cardano, ADA.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's Chainlink. There's a lot of the Ethereum-based projects are great. Now, the Ethereum platform, not so great.
Why not?
And this is the interesting part. Have you ever done a transaction on the Ethereum network?
What is the Ethereum network?
Okay, so basically,
I bought Ethereum in 2017.
okay, have you ever purchased anything with Ethereum?
No.
Exactly.
I know. Well,
So
I've
everyone
also haven't
buys,
done it with Bitcoin.
yeah. So, and you know, a lot of people don't,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because people don't dive into the space. Now, Ethereum, I'll give you an example. I did
Okay.
a transfer on the Ethereum network from wallet to wallet
Mm-hmm.
from my Binance wallet before Binance, the Chinese Binance made it. They like basically banned US customers.
Mm-hmm.
So I petitioned my account. I was like, hey, give me my account back. So they
Yeah.
gave me like 12 hours or 24 hours to take all my money out of there because, I had a bunch of coins that I bought
Mm-hmm.
way back then in 2017 and
Mm-hmm.
accumulated through 2018. And I consolidated it into Ethereum. I was like, ooh, let's do that. Yeah, I lost maybe 1/5 of my investment
Mm-hmm.
just transferring from wallet to wallet on the Ethereum network.
Wow.
And why is because there's a lot of malicious nodes. Another thing that, that's like you need to deep dive in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a governance protocol. There's more to it. But Ethereum, I see that taking more of a market share in the next couple of years as many projects are building on the Ethereum network.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a huge commercial fishing net. They threw it out, right?
Okay.
And they're pulling in their net, and there's big fish and then there's small fish,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's how I see the Ethereum network. It's
Mm-hmm.
so vast. There's like 800, maybe 1,000, $2,000 different projects on the Ethereum network.
By projects, you mean
Companies,
okay.
right? And they issue their own cryptocurrency,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Chainlink. It's
Okay.
based on the Ethereum network, but they have their own crypto, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's still built on the Ethereum network, and then there's Matic that's yeah, let's not.
So can our podcast make their own cryptocurrency?
Yeah,
Can we have our own
absolutely,
cryptocurrency?
absolutely.
And what net would we have to start from a network?
You just copy and paste, and almost everything is open source. Yeah,
Just
that's
like
how
that.
that's what Dogecoin is. It's open source. 3 anonymous guys created it.
Yeah.
There's Poop Coin. There's the S word coin.
Yeah.
Poop Coin. I looked at it today. It's valued at $3.70. $3.70. How and why in the world is a poop coin valued at $3.70?
I mean, back in the days when they had those wagons, they used poop for fires. So no matter what kind of poop you're messing with, it might be valuable.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's true. But
that's crazy.
In a sense, to like all the fake projects out there,
Mm-hmm.
or say the scam projects,
Yeah.
they're becoming more of a nuisance. They're creating noise,
Yeah.
and they're great. I love that people are making money off them, right? But in a sense, it's gonna give
They're just making everything so muddy.
very muddy. And so the companies that are going to survive, and this is the difference between regulatory clarity that comes fairly, and there's not going to be any punishment and all that stuff, and then there's regulatory enforcement, which a project like Doge or Poopcoin or all these fake projects, right? That some guy takes open source, send it to the moon. Let's just create a group chat. Let's Facebook ads, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it just like you see.
Talk about marketing, dude.
Yeah, right.
That's all just great marketing,
dude.
skills.
You could become a billionaire,
yeah,
like really quickly, but it's gonna make government calm down with enforcement. And unfortunately, you don't see a lot of news articles talking about fundamentals.
You don't. That was my next question. Is the government actually working on something? Or
Yes.
I think they're still trying to understand or grasp the whole idea of this stuff.
Yeah.
And how long is it going to take them? It usually takes very long for them to do anything. How long is it going to take them until we actually see regulatory enforcement or anything?
I think it's going to come a lot sooner than people think. And
Really?
why is because
They're losing too much money.
yes, they are, but they have a very competent man as the new SEC head, Gary Gensler.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing guy. I highly recommend watching his courses. It's on MIT. He taught at MIT, I believe, for like 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
He was invited out there. He was a former regulator on currency here in the U.S.
A lot of people don't like, they call the MIT gang, like all the financial people from MIT. Why is that?
well, they're business school, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of bright individuals come out of that school, right? And they have
Okay.
very competent professors.
Okay.
Um, a lot of their classes are actually free. You can just go on YouTube and look at their open source stuff. So it's like you could get high quality content
Yeah.
and business fundamentals from a high quality school, right? I'm not gonna say that the best. I dropped out of school, man.
Yeah.
But I haven't stopped educating myself, and that's the difference. A lot of
You're
people
just
drop
not
out of
paying.
school.
You're not paying for it. You're not gaining student loans.
Oh, I would love student loans.
I mean, especially
I
if
would
they
take
if they
that
make
money
them
and
free.
invest it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting. There's so many, like I was taking pre-marriage classes and everyone's perspective on student loans. And sorry, we're going off topic.
No, that's fine.
Everyone's perspective on student loans. Like, don't take it. I'm like, you can't even get a business loan for $50,000, and the school loan will give you $250,000. Take the money. If you're financially competent on $250,000, I mean, go live at your mom's house. Like, take the money and flip it.
Yeah.
But once again, there's a risk associated with that. There's time and education factor that you need to know that there's a high probability that you're going to make a return on your investment. I'm not advocating to do that at all whatsoever. But if I was going back there and I would take a loan like that, I'm making money.
Yeah.
That's it. That's plain and simple. A lot of people are scared of that because debt, it's interesting because a majority of the money circulating and that's built up economies is debt.
So you're saying I could go sign up for school, get a bunch of cash. They're not going to ask me what I need it for. I'm going to tell them I'm going to school and I can go to school with it or do whatever.
Yeah, a lot of incompetent people would or I wouldn't sorry, I want to take that back.
Disrespect anybody.
Yeah.
A lot of competent people.
Just common folk.
Yeah.
Will go and, get themselves a nice car. Pay an apartment, and I understand you have to pay rent, all that stuff. So there are necessary expenses that you have to incur, but there's if people open up their mind to how much money they could save and how much money they can make off of someone else's money, the world changes.
So now you sound like Grant Cardone, leveraging debt.
Yeah. Especially if you're getting it for free.
Yeah, but
essentially,
you should probably, before you do something like that, you should probably educate yourself.
Exactly.
For a long time. I don't know how long, but educate yourself where you understand clearly where you're putting that money.
Exactly.
So it's not too risky. So you offer a service where someone can put money into your service and gain some money back. Let's talk about that. Amazon stores. I want to learn about that.
That's such a new and such a new endeavor
for you.
For me,
okay.
It really came because 2020 was a great opportunity where I was not making any money, and I had I had an interesting conversation with one of my best friends, and I, I'm a full time real estate agent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was, still am. There's few clients that I would love to continue working with, just
Mm-hmm.
because I love to see them grow as much as I like to grow.
Mm-hmm.
I'll help people out here and there. I'll help them purchase, negotiate, all that stuff. I'm all open to it, but I'm not going to go and break my back for another contract,
Mm-hmm.
because there's much smarter ways of making money in my eyes. But
Mm-hmm.
2020, making no money, my brothers recommending me, hey, get unemployment. I'm like, dude, I would never do that. I'm not making any money. Economy
Yeah.
shut down. I took unemployment, right? The difference is
Yeah.
people who took unemployment have gone on vacations, spent the money on materialistic things,
They put it back into the economy. That's
and
what.
they put it back into Robinhood.
Yeah.
Something that like a lot of people, actually, a lot of that money went straight back into Robinhood,
Mm-hmm.
into Coinbase. If you actually look at the numbers, because Bank of America was issuing a lot of those
I
the
think I heard that
unemployment
number
checks.
that 30% of our wealth went back into like Robinhood, stuff like that. 30% of America's wealth went in 2020.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think it was, yeah, 30, around 35%. And it's crazy because Mark Yusko, around the world with Yusko on YouTube, no one watches him for some reason. He has like 200, 300 videos on, 200, 300 views, and he's a multi-billion dollar hedge fund
Mark
CEO,
who?
Yusko.
Mark Yusko.
And he covers the numbers, live numbers,
Mm-hmm.
on where this money is moving in EDD. It's interesting because a lot of that money went straight back. Look at it this way: a majority, not a majority, but a lot of people lost their job.
Mm-hmm.
How are they going to pay their mortgage? How are they going to pay their rent? They're thinking, how am I going to make money?
Yeah.
Right? Stocks. So what happened to YouTube videos on day trading? What happened to YouTube? It got blown out of proportion. Everyone's into hype right now because a lot of people are still unemployed,
Yeah. I mean, it's
right?
getting to the point where I think Florida today or yesterday, the governor announced they stopped EDD and said, "Hey, you guys need to go find jobs."
Exactly.
So small businesses were hurting during 2020 because everything was being shut down.
Yeah.
Now they're hurting because nobody wants to come back to work, so they can't open back
Yeah,
up.
yeah. So on the my partner on the Amazon store,
Mhm.
right? He owns multiple companies,
Mhm.
and one of them is a restaurant, very successful restaurant,
Mhm.
from what I was able to tell and gauge from conversation. And I mean, I eat at that restaurant every once in a
Mhm.
while too. And pre-pandemic, he would do a job listing,
Mhm.
right, for 15, 16 bucks an hour for like a cook, something like that, just cashier, right?
Mhm.
He would get 60, 65 applications. He's been struggling. He's got 4 applications this time around. None of those people showed up for a job interview. He had one effective conversation with one of those people that applied, and they were like, dude, I make more money on EDD.
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit here and milk it. I'll come back when it
Exactly.
runs out. So,
Dude, McDonald's is paying $50 just to show up for an interview.
yeah, because it's that bad.
If you guys want to make money, go interview with McDonald's. $50 just
Yeah,
for showing up.
it's gonna
That's
pay your dinner.
crazy.
Your
Yeah,
nice fancy
bunch
dinner.
of McChickens, dude. That's a good dinner right there, boy.
Yeah, but going back to the Amazon,
Yeah.
endeavor.
Let's talk about the Amazon Endeavor.
Yeah.
What
So,
is that?
it's just management service. So what I was going to do is, I had no source of income.
Mm-hmm.
So I was talking with a great colleague of mine. We're like, let's do this for friends and family, because we don't have to we don't have to sell them.
Mm-hmm.
We just onboard them and we say, hey, look, we're going to make you money on Amazon. Because what happened when all these small businesses shut down. A lot of that money went into Amazon, into Walmart, online business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we saw something and we were like, dude, that's the next big thing. So I was taking my EDE money. The first thing I did, a lot of people left the Zillow space, right? I bought, I think like 2 zip codes for like $550 on Zillow. And within like,
Hold up. What a Zillow bot zip codes. No.
yeah. So
you're
if
gonna
you're a
have
real
to
estate, so if you're a real estate agent,
Yeah.
you know, if you want to be on the Zillow platform, you have to pay a monthly fee, a monthly due
for your postings to be shown or
for
to
your
see.
So like if someone inquires, looks on Zillow, right, for a home, it
Yeah.
goes contact agent, and then your beautiful face pops up,
Yes.
and then they call and they think that
they're
gonna
you're
get
posting.
Yeah, but they
Okay,
get
gotcha.
linked with you, and then you go show up at the house, and then hey, look, you got a free client. Kind of
Mhm.
thing. Not really, because you got to pay. Right now, it's like
Okay.
thousands of dollars a month. But I
Mhm.
saw a different trend. It was interesting because everyone is
Okay,
pandemic hits.
so hold up. So by buying 2 zip codes, you meant you're advertising your face on 2 zip codes.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly, for like $550,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
The first month, I received 68 live phone calls. And I tell my mentor at that
Mhm.
time, I was like, dude, I got 68 live phone calls. He's like, no. Like, what's the real number? That's fake.
Yeah.
There's no way you get so many phone calls. I was like, no, man, look. And I screenshotted how many live calls I was getting, and I sent it over. He was like, bro, what? He's like, on
Really?
average, you get maybe 2 or 3 a month. I'm like, yeah, I got 68. There's no one in the market right now. And then we saw the trend where so many sellers backed out.
Mhm.
Refinances were at an all-time high, and then everyone started trying to get back into the real estate market. And I bought contracts, $550, 6-month contract. They can't change the price, and I'm 110% market share in certain zip codes, and I'm
Mhm.
getting all these calls. Close like 14 houses in the next like 3-4 months. It's really, and that just fueled more of my investment side and creating the Amazon opportunity that I
Mhm.
really wanted to focus on for my family,
Mhm.
right? For friends and family. So they sit back, relax. If someone lost a job, they have someone paying them every
Dude,
2
this
weeks.
sounds so fake.
Right?
Sounds so fake, Mark.
I know.
Like I want to call BS. Like what do you mean? You just sit back and I'm having a hard time understanding. Please explain.
Okay, basically, so anyone could do this. I would just go like give free bars out here, because I'm all about creating quality content and making sure that
Look, you don't have to tell us the secret. If they're gonna
Yeah.
shoot you, don't tell us. But
no.
can you explain just the principle? Like a store on Amazon, what are you selling? Candy bars? Are you selling slippers?
So basically, whatever, some people that try to do it themselves, they go through like Jungle Scout or Helix.
What is that?
It's an AI basically that recommends hot products.
Is
and
that
hot
like a robot that they call?
Kind of. It's
Or
kind
they
of
call like
basically-
robots. Hey, go buy this robot. It's gonna tell you.
No. That's a trading bot. I think that's what you're.
Or trading bot. Some
Yeah,
kind.
that's-
Bots. Yeah, they
Okay.
call them bots.
It essentially is a bot.
Okay.
But
So you're buying a
takes,
software that's gonna do something for you, like give you some kind of data.
Yeah, we're creating our own.
Okay.
So we want to make it like original and attached to the company. So we're not building a copy and paste company. We're building a real company that is in the short term.
Yeah.
We're already looking at buying warehouses, right? So we work around Amazon's warehouses and around their fees. But
hold up, am I like in a month? Am I gonna see your face on a YouTube ad where you're gonna be like, "Do you think I bought this car by going to college?
No.
Let me teach you how to make money."
No,
I wouldn't be surprised though if I do.
No. I want to touch on that maybe a
Okay.
little later, but
Okay.
yeah, basically we'll take remote access of your computer.
Mm-hmm.
We literally, first you have to sign our management contract.
Okay.
Right. Right. There's an onboarding fee,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's a percentage that we take. We usually take, up to 55% of your store.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon pays you every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
We file from your computer. We'll take remote access. We'll go on California LLC or corporation. We'll open up a company right where you're literally staring at it.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to make everything super transparent. A lot of people are like, nah, dude, this is a scam.
Yeah, that's what it sounds
But
like, a scam. Someone's on your computer setting up a company.
Yeah. It's funny
You
because
sound like, are you guys based out of India too?
no.
Okay.
Well, we do have VAs out there.
Yeah, see, I don't trust you if you have VAs in India.
I know, right? We're gonna do them a solid. I think my partner and I were discussing something in the near future of going out there and buying like a legitimate office space for them to make sure that they're. I know it sounds like a scam.
Sounds so fake, dude. Okay,
but that's the world. Look,
yeah.
my money.
Why not
my,
go?
My US dollar is
go to Ukraine or Russia, or it doesn't make sense. It's probably cheaper. It might be.
Yeah, my partner speaks 9 different languages, and
so
he already has really good contacts.
Connections there. Okay.
Yeah, very smart guy. Literally love having conversations with him. Really amazing guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know it sounds. I get that all the time, and then people go, "Man, it sounds like a scam," but
yeah,
it's Mark Dorofeyev.
It's if you guys know him, you know him. I mean, either I know his brother's an actor, so either he got some. Either his brother taught him how to act, or this is for real.
It is for real.
Okay.
And a lot of people are always like, "Oh, dude, show me the numbers," and then we'll pull up accounts, and then they're like, "Nah, it's fake." And I'm like, "All right, cool, that's great." And I understand that I can't make everyone happy.
Yeah.
I'm out here trying to give a superior product. We're still, trimming our edges, trying to make sure that we're a solid product and we're a really good competitor out here that has a legitimate company. We're still hiring more people out here in Sacramento. We're trying to, acquire some more sales guys because at this point we're scaling very quickly, right? And we need more hands. And if we keep on going out there, getting VAs in a different country, onboarding someone, I mean, you just go on Google and type in AnyDesk, and AnyDesk scam is literally the first thing that pops up because we take remote access of your computer and we file for an LLC. We're not taking your credit card. We're not. There is legal disclosure that we are going to take like credit card information to pay for all the, the LLC, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So that's like on your end. But if you have some, let's say, a person with an accent, out there known and associated with scams, obviously you're going to get a little whoosh. But that's why we try to do it so transparently. And like, look, we're going on the California website. It's legitimate. We're filing right in front of your face.
Yeah.
And here are all of our Amazon accounts. Which ones do you want to look at? And then, a client would be like, I want to look at that one. Okay, cool. We'll click on it.
Yeah.
All right, what else do you want to see? You want to see how much money this account made? Okay, there's 17,000. We took 55% of that. Okay, cool. Okay, can I see another one? And then after they view like 8, they're like, it sounds like a scam. And I'm like, great.
Yeah.
It's okay. I know some things in life are too good to be true.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe they're too good to be true. But I'm out here trying to, trying to make people money passively.
Yeah.
Right? Where they just sit back, relax. Amazon pays you out every 2 weeks on your sales, or you can take your net sales every single day. So if you make $8,000 in sales that day, right, there's a certain percentage Amazon takes, blah, 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 blah. But you could cash out. Like, there's no scam about it, but once again, when people
I feel like selling watermelons might be more legit. Like, like right. Watermelon season, you load up a whole bus full of watermelons. You know exactly what you're buying. You know exactly what you sold.
Yeah.
Why? What made you believe in this? Like,
so imagine.
How were you exposed to this?
So imagine this.
Yeah.
Like, the watermelon sale,
Yeah.
right? You got your money,
Mm-hmm.
right? But check this out. You have $20,000, let's say,
Okay.
right? And that's what you reserved on the side for watermelon sales this summer.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine hiring some people to go out there, do all your work while you sit at home, and they buy all the watermelon, they do all the loading, they
Mm-hmm.
get rid of all the inventory, and they come back with your cut while you were sitting at home focusing on your primary job.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're doing. And we don't take legal ownership of your company. We're building your net worth in the background. Amazon's paying you every 2 weeks. We're not paying you every 2 weeks, but we're going to charge you a management service for continuing to service, buy, and sell products on your account.
Okay.
Right? It's all legitimate. So it's literally the same concept, but on an Amazon storefront. And people go, why can't you just scale more stores on your end? Well, Amazon caps you out at one store per person. And then it's hard to go over $400,000 in sales, monthly,
Mm-hmm.
because they cap you out, their algorithm and stuff like that. So for us, it's easier to, with our management service to scale further if we take on more accounts.
Mm-hmm.
We take up to 55%,
Mm-hmm.
depending on what's going on.
Depending how much money the account's making.
Or
Or what does it depend on?
No. How long you've been in the market. If we have to create a new account, it's obviously going to be more expensive on our end. We're going to take more time to train new people, so it's a little more expensive. So, there is a fee associated with it, but rest assured, we don't guarantee profits every 2 weeks, but, almost all of our accounts have been positive.
Okay. So there's there's companies that will take your money, invest in, sell and buy stocks for you.
Yeah.
You're pretty much something similar to that, but you're selling and buying items, physical
product.
things on Amazon.
Exactly. And we're doing it for you.
Okay, so there's also a term called drop shipping.
Yeah.
And a lot of people either love it or hate it.
Exactly.
I'm glad I don't know why they love it or hate it. Why do they exactly do that? What's going on there? What's different between drop shipping and what you're doing? Is it bad? Is it good?
I'm essentially doing the same thing, but I'm just doing it for you.
Not just for yourself.
No, not just for myself.
Okay, can you define drop shipping for me?
Drop shipping, well, you're fulfilling single orders in a sense, to customers everywhere, and you're getting it from wholesalers or manufacturers. You go into legal, you make a contract with them. Hey, we're going to buy X amount of blah, blah, blah product, blah, blah, blah. You just kind of give them a promissory, like, hey, we're trying to do a partnership here, blah, blah, blah. We're going to we're planning to spend this much money. And then you just fulfill orders, single orders at a time. But you did express you want a long-term relationship. And those are something like the trade secrets, stuff like that, everything's open source. Google is amazing. You want a degree in something? Go on YouTube. You want to learn how to drop ship? Go on YouTube.
Well, yeah, a lot of these drop shippers are like offering courses now. Like, hey, here, give me $350. I'll teach you how to drop ship. And then at the end of that course, they're like, actually, if there's one more thing that I forgot to tell you, but I'll tell you for $2,000.
Yeah, exactly. We don't do any of that. We'll take your money while we're managing it.
Okay, well,
essentially, we're doing everything. We won't take it. We will. We're just a management company, just like a rental, like a management company for real estate. Same thing. We're a management company for for Amazon stores. That's it. So just copy and paste what you know about the rental market.
It sounds very simple, David. We're gonna have a 3-person podcast soon, but I would love for David to be part of this conversation because I'm sure he has like 1,000 questions burning in his head right now. Give me one question. No questions?
I understand what he's talking about.
You do? Yeah. Let's make an Amazon store.
I just have one question. Like, why you set up the LLC account on the other people's behalf instead of having them set up their accounts, LLCs by themselves?
It takes too much time. So for not everyone knows how to set up something really quickly.
Mhm.
So that's why we do it remote access. We get it done, 3, 4, 5 days. But yeah, there's a longer process with Amazon approving your store, blah, blah, blah. But we're right there setting up everything for you, setting up a legitimate legal entity for you so you don't have to do it yourself. So that's part of, the upfront
So you're
cost.
selling a convenience essentially there.
Yeah. And
Okay.
if you were to do it yourself, trust me, it's going to take a lot longer because not a lot of people know how to do this. So call it a convenience fee, call it a startup fee.
Yeah.
There's stuff that
Entry,
we
you
do.
call it an entry fee?
Yeah, or upfront initial investment.
Okay.
I just call it an initial investment.
Okay, so you invest into the store, or what are you investing in?
So, and this is where we will help you. We have credit cards that we recommend. Hey, because on the first month you typically want to go negative.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that your store doesn't make money, but on the back end you are making money through the credit card, like cashback credit card. So we get a corporation or an LLC, right? It's interesting.
Yes, it's very interesting. It sounds okay. Keep going.
Cool. So we open up the corporation. We get a business bank account under the E&I. Once you get your E&I, file for the corporation.
Yeah.
Right. We open up a business account for you. We get a credit card out.
Do you do taxes for these businesses as well?
No, absolutely not. I don't
So who does
file your own taxes?
Okay, so
we don't recommend anything like, hey, you should do your taxes this way. I mean, if you ask me personally,
so you manage their business, but they have to do their own taxes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't do it for you. If we were to do it, we would definitely charge more because we would have like a
I'm just trying to understand this. So like I'm an Amazon store owner through you. I have no idea what's going on. I'm just making money every week, and then boom, every 2 weeks, boom, my taxes come up, and I'm like, what? I don't even know what I do in my business. Money just comes in. How do I go do taxes?
It'd be income. It would be income.
So
it'd be taxed as income.
You work for, it's like a W-2, or is it a?
It would be 1099.
Okay.
You're essentially kind of like self-employed. But me personally, if you ask me, I would file taxes under like an S corp.
Okay.
It's like 15% less on income taxes than an LLC. Save an extra $3-4 grand.
Okay. So,
but you have to pay yourself reasonably. You can't pay yourself.
So
and some of our stores,
do you set all that up in the stores, like how much these people are paying themselves, or are you full
No,
profit?
you do whatever you want. Like you take as much. So you take that net income. So let's say Amazon will pay you $17,000 or $15,000, right?
A month.
A month. No, every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, 30 grand a month.
30 grand a month. Okay. We take up to 55% of that because our initial investment is low because the barrier of entry in these management companies is, 45 grand upwards
so am I
to
paying
60
taxes
grand.
on the 15 or on the 30 a month?
Well, on the profits that you're making.
But technically I'm profiting 30, but you're taking 15.
That's expense.
No. So the initial investment that's paying us, right? To get everything set up for you, hire necessary individuals to continue managing. Got to hire another bookkeeper.
Forgive me if I'm asking dumb questions.
No, you're not. These are all like logical and competent questions, and I love that you're asking because everyone asks me these questions, right? So I try to explain it like, hey, this is what we do. The initial investment has nothing to do with what you're about to get approved for, which is your business credit card. We typically recommend a few cards that you get travel points back with. So essentially, you're getting 2 paychecks, cash back on your credit card, and then there's a net income from the proceeds of the sale that you get in. but be mindful because every billing cycle, there's a management service that comes in. And yes, you do need to pay us. So you will make 30 grand, but you will have to pay that, upwards to 55% of that 30 grand to us as a management service, because we're legitimately doing everything for you. You just sit back, enjoy the ride. There are times, and I'm very transparent. There are times where a store of ours will get shut down, right? Because it's scaling so quickly. And it just kind of sucks, but Amazon does it every once in a while. It'll shut down a store if you're doing really great very quickly, right? And that's why the algorithm is interesting, and we kind of recommend our clients to go negative the first month, maybe $200, $300, but on the back end, you're getting a $1,500 or $2,000 cash back on your credit card, so you're still positive, but on back end where we can't touch the money, and it's yours. So it's kind of like a little, hey, just take the loss.
So it's a legal business, but if you make too much money, Amazon shuts you down.
Essentially, and we'll hire an attorney. We have our own services there. Costs like $2,500. Typically, we'll pay for that and cover it, and we'll get your account running up in the next 60 days. We don't promise next 5 days.
Yeah.
It's very hard to do that, because you have to file paperwork, and
so essentially there's no reason to go back to work anymore. If everybody that's at home right now called you and said, Mark, set up a store for me. 1, you're gonna be flying in a private jet next year. 2, everybody else is gonna be making a Skrilla without going to work. Yes or no?
I don't guarantee any profits.
Yeah.
It's really based on your credit limit, your business credit limit that you're approved for, and then we could scale much quicker with that.
So the more debt you take on, the more money you'll make.
Essentially, yeah, and that's why I love debt. People are scared of debt. People are scared of debt, but debt makes you money, and this is where
cheap debt is cool.
Yeah, but this is where
is
financial
this debt cheap?
30 grand, 40 grand, but you're expected to pay that off within, 30-day cycle, one billing cycle. Okay. So you don't accrue the interest, So yeah, there's a lot of interesting factors, but I started doing this for the public because my partner, he's managing. It's interesting because, oh man, the way that my partner and I met is very interesting. He was a real estate transaction of one of mine, and just great guy. We hit it off. I'm full of energy and life, and he saw that. And he's a very competent man.
Is he an older man, a younger man?
No, young. Okay. He's an internal doctor. So he actually practices. He'll do.
He's a surgeon.
No. Just like internal doctor. I don't know, internal medicine. We never really got far into it, but he does have a practicing license, and he will consult every once in a while. He doesn't do it, as often, because there are much greater opportunities. I want to say, I can't speak for him. It's a whole nother conversation with him, but he's a great guy.
We should have both of you on one day.
Yeah.
I want to get to the bottom of this of this business model.
Man, I feel so bad for like talking about it, because
about talking what you do.
Well,
essentially, this is beautiful. There's probably gonna be people who are like, "Yo, Mark, sign me up."
Yeah,
but
I want it to come organically. In a sense, it is coming organically, but I know this is the interesting about human nature. Is it's interesting because when people will see someone coming up, they'll be like, "Oh, I'm so happy for your success."
And then as soon as you're successful,
"Oh, he's a scam! He's a scam artist. He's a this. He's a look at how he's using Ruslan's page to advertise his business." I get that.
Actually to counter that, I'm the one that invited you on.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's not. He's not trying to come and scam all of the.
Let's just get that word out of our vocabulary.
And this is no scam. He sent me a screenshot. I'm gonna take you for your word. It was legit. There's money behind what he's saying.
A lot of it.
A lot of money. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around all this.
Yeah. For me, essentially, it's not about the money right now, as much as it is the experience. It's interesting because I love studying human nature, and human nature, unfortunately, is very like you go down to the roots of it, and it's very greedy. You
And
go
evil.
down, it is, and you can't be mad that your brother or your sister or your family member or your aunt, your uncle, this and that will talk dirt on you or do any of this. I'm not saying my family's doing that, but I'm just saying it's in our DNA
Mark,
to have that. You can't be mad.
like if somebody tells you, Mark, why are you being greedy? You know where that is coming from? That's coming from their greed.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
And it's a great, it's the greatest like example of the greed.
What's that?
Dogecoin.
Everybody wants a piece of that.
Everyone wants a piece of it. But that's a whole entire market pushing a price with no fundamentals, right?
Yeah.
And it's an encumbrance to the market. And it's interesting because I'm 50-50. When something gets so big and it's a scam,
Yeah.
right?
An actual scam.
And there's
like
so much money
Dogecoin
tied
is
up.
bigger than some actual big companies.
Yeah, because they print 10,000 Dogecoins every minute of the day, nonstop.
That's crazy.
Right. And I wonder who the dudes are behind that project. But it's interesting because if you go like, let's talk a little bit about cryptos.
Yeah.
If you take it back to crypto regulation, right? You have a legitimate crypto company like Ripple being sued by the SEC by 9 dimwits that quit their job the next day after they filed the lawsuit to a legitimate company, right? And then the SEC's not going after something like Doge and Poopcoin and all these other sushi coin. Like, what is that? But that gives me a great idea of they're not, yes, in a sense, they're going after the biggest, baddest dog in town, right? But the regulation and the new standard that's going to come from this lawsuit is going to be a standard for all crypto companies. So in a sense, I don't think any crypto company out there is safe because there is no regulatory clarity.
Yeah.
But in this case, that's why I said it's dangerous that we have an unregulated meme worth $70 billion, right? More than most S&P 5 companies out there, more than Ferrari, more than like, dude, it's ridiculous, right?
Right.
And then you look at what
definitely
the SEC,
more than Rolls Royce. It's like at $1 or something right now.
Yeah, and you look at the SEC tackling a legitimate company that's actually solving worldwide, wholesale CBDC, bank transfers, all that stuff, and you're like, wait, what's going on? And people go, this is the interesting. People go, it's a scam. That's why. And I'm like, well, dang, you can't critically think. They're going after the biggest, baddest dog in town. They know they're going to lose, but they're going to come out with some new rules. They're going to come out with some new standards that they're going to hit every company out there with.
And that's going to be the big dip. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting because...
Well, when is that? When is that supposed to be over? Just so I could plan accordingly.
Man, I'm thinking a settlement's going to come pretty soon because Gary Gensler, if you watch his lectures on how competent he is, he's not the smartest man in crypto and cryptography, but if you watch his lectures on MIT, he has a very good understanding of it. And he is like, guys, this technology is here to stay, regardless of what you want. But a lot of these crypto companies are securities. And they issue their tokens as securities. So if you look at like Ethereum, and if you actually dig into it, they were never given a clear notion and a classification by the SEC that they are 100% US regulated, not a security.
Yeah.
The former SEC head just said, it, in my eyes, and in these 3-4 guys, we don't believe it's a security. And so people just, oh yeah, cool. But if you look back at the initial coin offering,
so because the government prior did not recognize it, now it's just like a behind the scenes something where people are just making a ton of money on. So if they would have recognized it as security, it would have been regulated prior,
depending on. So there's the classification of a security, a currency, a commodity, of a utility coin. There's so many different classifications of crypto, right? Because it's so new, and they're trying to figure out, okay, what's an exchange token? What's a this? What's a that? They're just coming out with that regulatory clarity. But unfortunately, it's with a big old stick, and they're going to start beating crypto companies.
Yes.
Because they're making so much money and they're taking such a big market share that unfortunately I could just see the US government coming after people and just beating them. You owe us $10 million.
So from what I've heard, everywhere that Bitcoin mining or cryptocurrency mining was suppressed, it became like a black market type of thing, and it started even
flourishing.
Flourishing even more.
Yeah, it's a hedge against governments.
So
you can't.
So how is this government, the United States, going to actually enforce or regulate something like Bitcoin that's not centralized?
They can't. What they can do is enforce and do regulations on mining. How they authorize transactions, how they reap a reward from authorizing transactions on the Bitcoin network, right? And validating them. So that's what they can control, but they can't control essentially literally, this is what I love about crypto. You have a bank in your head. Imagine that, being worth $1 million with the passcode in your head. God forbid you don't get in a car accident or drop on your head and forget your password. But check that out.
Dude, who's that comedian, Dylan? There's this comedian, Dylan guy, and he made like a trailer to a movie of, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like they're in a trailer park. They're like this white trash family, his mom and his brother, and they're pissed they're at his dad's graveyard, and they're pissed because his dad bought a bunch of Bitcoin and he didn't tell him the password to his computer. But that's what just reminded me of. It was the funniest thing. It was hilarious.
Yeah, but I mean, the crypto space is great. There's so many projects I would recommend not investing in.
Researching.
No, Filecoin. That's taking data away in decentralizing it. It's in a sense, because all data is centralized. Who manages the data? Who's creating these amazing beasts on Instagram where you're just sitting there and it's taking up your time? That affects your brain, right? But in a sense, there is no privacy to all of your information. But why I love blockchain is because it is a decentralized ledger protocol that literally it's a unit of account on multiple different computers. Okay. So you're moving away from a centralized entity controlling what you can't do, how much money they're going to make on you. And that's why, another thing I'm going to talk about and then we're going to end here is NFTs. NFTs people are like, pictures. Dude, NFTs are going to change driver license, birth certificates, all of that stuff, right? And people don't see it. It's going to change the music industry. All right. Who are the main producers of music industry, right? Who controls who buys and sells this? Who controls contracts there? Those guys are going to lose a market share through NFTs, right? They're getting a market share of music, and the user interface on NFTs. Okay, and this is the great thing.
I'm going to interrupt you here because I feel like, so for example, Parler, right, was another social media platform. and it got super political. They were literally banned. They couldn't be anywhere.
Yeah.
How if crypto is this disruptor in economics, if NFTs is such a disruptor in the music industry, can't these major big dog players just remove this stuff off the platforms and just shut everything down?
No, they can't,
Why not?
because they're not built on their software. They're not built on their platforms. It's its own platform. You can't shut it down. And that's the thing. And that's so beautiful. That's why Bitcoin's so beautiful. That's why Ethereum's so beautiful. That's why Filecoin is so beautiful. Chainlink is so beautiful. So many projects out there are so beautiful because you can't shut them down. It's not built on your traditional platform where we don't like you, we're going to censor you. There is no censorship unless there's a governance protocol that's authorizing transactions or validating like a master node or something like that. Yeah, then they're going to be able to monitor and basically, and that's what governments want. They want more of that, right? Because it is decentralized, but they have a central authority there, a governance that says what can't do on it, right? But it's all peer-to-peer in a sense, and bank-to-bank, and but it's a whole nother space. In the NFTs, it's going to change Spotify, it's going to change Netflix. And what I mean by that is you're paying a monthly subscription, but the user interface, people think it's great, but it sucks because you pay a monthly, but you don't have ownership of the movies that you pay for.
They removed Office off of Netflix, and boom.
And NFTs.
Yeah. I would buy an Office NFT off the Office.
Exactly. So you'd have legal ownership. In a sense, you would have legal ownership, a part of it, because you pay for it. So it unlocks, so you could download it to your own computer.
Yes.
And you could take Office and you can move it from Netflix to Amazon Prime to any other movie streaming services. And that's what non-fungible tokens are. Like, people are like, oh, they're just for art and stuff. Yes,
it could be for anything.
Yes, but it's for music. It's to change the user interface of centralized authorities and companies and take a market share. And those who don't adapt are going to lose a market share, and they're going to be the blockbuster.
So this is my theory, and we might end on this theory. But the more I talk to you, Mark, the more I'm realizing that the more I don't know.
Yeah.
And the more we're going to have to learn, I'm going to have to learn, the more I think we're going to have you back.
We're going to stay on one topic. I think we covered so many topics.
Well, that's fine. Today was a very like a general conversation, but I'm glad we touched on all these things because they're so relevant in today's world. But like, I feel like the big players in the economy are going to whether it be by regulation or whatever, they're going to make all this crypto stuff crash horribly, just so that they can officially buy in and not buy it. Because if they buy now, well, who knows if they're going to, maybe there's another coup out there and just going to screw them again and everyone's going to sell or whatever happens. But I feel like before the dust settles, it's all going to come tumbling down because they're going to want to buy at a price that they want to pay for everything, just so they can make more money.
Great point. I actually share the same view, and that's why regulatory enforcement, just like regulatory enforcement in the internet bubble, where there was Netscape, there was a whole bunch of internet companies taking a market share, right? But they weren't doing jack squat for the world, right? And then regulatory enforcement came and wiped out a lot of them, and then guess what? Who survived? Utility. So that's why it's interesting, because there's companies then that were scams, but people are promoting them as, oh my God, look at them. They're going to do something super great.
They probably had a Doge.com too.
Probably. And that's why I say history doesn't always repeat itself, but it oftentimes rhymes. And this is a new revelation. Like, it's it's a financial revolution that's going to change the world. It's a data revolution that's going to change the world.
Mm-hmm.
And for you and I to have a conversation about it this early on
Mm-hmm.
at a $2.3 trillion market cap, give or take right now, I don't know, it's probably 2 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
We're not even that close to what we should be valued at, because Bitcoin dominance is at like 48%. Ethereum dominance is, another like 20%.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the other companies out there that are
Mhm.
doing utility are a very small fraction. So for you and I to have a conversation and think about it, we're that much earlier
Mm-hmm.
to catch in the next trend for 10 years. $500 in 10 years is going to go a long way for the companies that are going to survive regulatory enforcement.
Which utilities do you think are gonna survive? Is Bitcoin like? I don't know much. I've dabbled a little bit, so don't. I'm dumb in this
Yeah.
area, but I feel like Bitcoin and Ethereum maybe have the most behind them to be like actual tangible utilities. Or am I wrong? What's your opinion on that?
It's vast because it's my world.
Yeah.
Bitcoin has a lot more institutional investors and ETFs. Canada just made an ETF.
Mm-hmm.
They approved it. The US, there's a few companies out here trying to get hedge funds trying to get an ETF approved. They were pushed till June, which just gives me a good
Define ETF for whoever has an ETF question.
So basically, it's like a combination. You kind of like spread your risk in an investment pretty equally,
Mm-hmm.
So you'll buy, let's say, $5,000, and I might be wrong on this
Mhm.
because I'm not too familiar with all the regulation. and all
Duck
that
duck
stuff
go
like that.
this.
DuckDuckGo is that? Okay, whatever.
I just didn't want to say Google it. And I've been seeing duck duck go billboards all over the highway.
Yeah.
So
Basically, to have a safe haven on how institutional investors come in
Yeah.
and have that regulatory clarity on how to invest in blockchain,
Mhm.
and they want to limit their risk into one project, so they invest it like in an ETF. It splits up into like 4 different top crypto companies
Okay,
that are
okay.
going to be emerging. And if you put $100,000, $25,000 here, and here, 4
a
different
couple of
ways.
funds. Okay.
Yeah. So I might be wrong on that. Totally might fumble that.
Okay,
but
that's fine.
yeah.
We'll find out in the comment section if you're wrong or not.
Yeah.
Like I said, after our conversation, I'm realizing there's still so much to learn, and the thing is, I think all of us are realizing there's still so much to learn because this is such. Bitcoin's been around for a long time, but the crypto world is such a new baby still.
Yeah, it is.
To the world, to
It
the
doesn't
finance.
even have proper clarity on how investors could work on their platforms.
Yeah.
So that's how early we are.
I mean,
A
JP
majority of the money-
Morgan just, I think, posted a couple like 10 openings for positions for blockchain experts.
Yeah.
The big banks are trying to figure this out, learn about it.
Bank of America is ahead of the game.
Really,
They patented the XRP ledger system into their wholesale CBDC side. That happened during COVID. Brian Brooks, our boy, passed maybe like 50 plus laws during COVID. No one knows about it. I studied it. I loved it. That's when I was buying like the most market share I've ever purchased my entire life.
Mhm.
But I'll be honest, I got free money from the government. EDD went a long way, guys. So all of us, you could. The government gave me free apples, and this is what I was talking about with one of my best colleagues. They give us free apples, right? A lot of people took 3 apples, right, and they ate it, and they're coming back for more. I ate the apple, I took the seeds, and I planted them.
Right? Pass the mark. Come on.
There you go. And That took off.
Yeah.
And it's producing me way more apples. And guess what? I'm not limited to 5 or 6 seeds.
Yeah.
I got the whole
Each
dang
apple
orchard.
each apple has a seed now.
Exactly.
Ladies and
Created
gentlemen, if you've
opportunity.
learned
Yeah.
anything today, I hope you learned that you must use your money wisely, even if it's debt. Like Mark said, debt is not a bad thing. Sorry, Dave Ramsey. But you must use it wisely. Do some research. Don't go out there and just throw your money at anything just because you heard ETFs are exciting, just because you heard Dogecoin is exciting, just because Elon Musk is going to mention it on SNL hopefully tomorrow night and it's going to go to the moon for real.
Yeah.
Don't buy things that you don't know what you're doing. Don't take unnecessary risks. Have a blessed life, and hopefully we'll have Mark on again.
Yes.
I found this
that'd be
interesting.
exciting. Yes.
I found this interesting. Just a casual conversation, general topics. Maybe we'll get into more details later. Anyways, thank you, Mark, for coming on again. If you have not subscribed, like, share, his account will be under in the descriptions. Peace.